everybody, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you being here and supporting the channel for so long. It means a lot, and still struggling to find my way as a trader, but I know that I am improving because I'm able to I've had a couple 10R trades now, and I've been able to hold. Problem is just giving back a lot of it because I haven't only taken those trades that lead to those A plus moves. I've taken a lot of garbage. And that's what I realize now is after talking with, a couple mentors, I realize that the people that trade and make the big money, the people that are featured in Jack Schwager's Market Wizards books, the people that can do this and actually make money, that 1 to 2% of retail, probably just 1%, or the big time traders at banks, is for at least for most of them, there's not a trade every day. There's may not even be a trade every week. They're very patient, and they've studied and know their criteria extremely, extremely, extremely well. There's no questions about do they know their criteria. It's they always know it, and they're always ready for it. So here's the deal, is I think I'm finally starting to figure that out. I can trade long or short, but the key is getting in when these EMAs are pretty tight, when they're starting to expand. And when they're pretty expanded like this, don't go for trades. So here, I could have gone short here because these EMAs, they still look like they're expanding. It makes sense, this is a pullback and it would push lower and try to retest these lows. I could get short here because these EMAs, they're just started to separate. Here I could get long because they're just starting to separate up, and I think it might be bullish. It's tricky in these types of positions because it's like here it looks like they're just starting to go bearish. So it's tricky here when it's like choppy zones, and those it's hard, and sometimes you'll have losers. But then like here, it's starting to expand, get long. Ride this up from 54 to 75. 20 points. Here it's starting to expand. Get long. Ride it up for the rest of the day. It doesn't really go anywhere. Today, big gap up. Don't ever really get a long signal. Comes all the way down back to the EMAs. They're pretty tight. Try for a long. Fails. But guess what? You get on your next long signal. This bar here, 1540. You can get long after that bar because that closes outside the 30-minute range, and then you can get long. And I should note that, so that'd be 57 up to 74, so almost 20 points. Now I should note that just because there's an arrow there doesn't mean that that's a signal. That just means that that's when I get my alert. So the signal is when the bar actually closes outside the previous 30-minute range, which is signified by the green dashed line and the bearish red line. So it's just like when my phone will get pinged and I can start watching, and oftentimes the bar that has the arrow will precede a real signal, which 1540 was. And yeah. Sucks though, because I got long with too much size here. Had like a bigger loss, bigger than I should have. But I feel like I'm finally starting to really get my plan, have a good idea. It's just really hard when we're in a market like we've been lately, where it's so choppy. And I mean, look at this. This is the weekly chart. We're basically inside, the past 2 weeks range right now. Not where you want to be. choppy, tough market. But the best place is when you're outside the week's range. But that doesn't happen too often. Most of the time it's in a range, so I'll still trade inside the weekly range. I'll still even trade inside the prior day range. But I won't trade inside the previous 30-minute bar range. Which typically lines up with the previous hourly range too. 30-minute, because I'm a day trader, 30-minute is a big enough time frame where I'm comfortable, I'm comfortable trading inside the previous hour in the right context. It just depends. But most of the time it does end up aligning with the 1 hour. So that's my plan. That's what I'm working on. That's the plan I'm going to be trying to execute. Key is just going to be not over leveraging, betting properly, betting at the right time. When it's really tight like this and it's intertwining, that's really confusing, and probably best to just not trade at all that day, especially because this day, it came after an expansion day and we're inside the prior day range, so that's like a time that I know isn't ideal to trade. I will trade inside the prior day range, but it's a good, just like I have written down in my trading plan right here, the only time to trade, and this is just me putting in writing what I just said. So, yeah, I hope this is helpful. I hope there's something in here that benefits you as a trader. Let me know in the comments how you are doing as a trader. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know if you're a millionaire yet. I'm definitely not. But hopefully in like 2 or 3 years, I'll reach, some long-term success. I'm hopeful. I'm never going to give up, ever. Decided that back in January 2022, and here I am, August 2025, still never giving up. I've been trading since August 2017, so this is my 8-year anniversary of trading, but, first 5 years I wasn't super serious, or first 4.5 years I wasn't super serious. I mean, I made some good money on some lucky options, but didn't know what I was doing, gave all of it back. And there is definitely something to be said about early success actually being a bad thing. But, yep, let me know what your thoughts are on this. Friday at 9:30, that's an interesting time. Let's just back up real quick, because, here we're expanded a bit away. We gapped. We got a very bearish candle at the start. So we've already kind of moved a lot. So there's not that much of a move left to make. So it's like, is that good of a trade? Not really. If we would have shorted that candle, yeah, we could have held it to the close and we would have got a nice, move from, what is this, 86 down to 47. So we would have got our 40-point move. But guess what? It's like it did the last 30-minute bar, but right before this was expanding a lot. So it's like, if there is some gap and go scenarios where it can work. I'm not saying not to trade those, but I'm just saying, like, here on this gap, this gap did not go. This was a gap close. So you just kind of really have to read the room, read the context. This preceding this big move down, it was very coiled up for a very long period of time. 4 days, it was basically coiling up. Then we got a lot of volatility. This was non-farm payrolls day. So it's like a lot of momentum in the market. It makes sense it would push down. Whereas today the context is like, well, we're kind of in a range now at this point. I don't know. It's just really context. And it's an art. It's like, trading, you can have it be as quantitative as you want. But even if you're the most quantitative person, you still have to decide when you're going to run that software, and you have to tweak it, and you have to make all these changes to it sometimes. So you want it to be quantitative, but it's like Adam Grimes says, it's an art and a science. Doctors will say that about doing medicine. It's an art and a science. And pretty like a lot of high level fields will say that. But I think that's everything I wanted to cover in this video. Hopefully it was helpful. I already kind of started doing my outro, but then I just talked some more, which is very much something I do. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Really excited to be making videos regularly again, trading regularly again, having this system that I love. And I'll see you in the next one. Happy trading. Join the Discord or send me an email in the description, and I'll see you next time. Peace.